welcome to today's video. So you've put in all those hours writing that personal statement, getting it into the specific criteria, you've applied through Ucas, you've either had the October deadline, if that's for medicine, dentistry or Oxbridge, which is Oxford or Cambridge. You can only apply to one of either Oxford or Cambridge at a time, and then you've got the January deadline. So you've put your Ucas application in. Now here's the wait. I thought I'd give you a few tips on what you can do to deal with the anxiety of waiting and anticipation over whether you're going to receive an offer or not, and how to get ahead before A-levels really start racking up. So you're currently in November, well, that's when I'm filming this, and that's a really good place to start getting in the foundation of your knowledge. So, year 12, done and dusted. This is the time to flick back and just make sure that you're understanding those concepts, because those concepts is what year 13 will build on. So you need to understand the beginning before you can understand the end and how things progress. Maths, you do integration in year 12, and then in year 13 you do integration by parts integration, loads of different integrations. But if you don't understand the first integration, you're going to really struggle come year 13 as things start to ramp up. So you've put your offers in. I got my first offer within 24 hours of submitting my application, and that can be quite common. You'll get a notification saying there's an update, please you need to check Ucas track. This will mean that you've either been offered a place or not. So if you have an offer, it will be either conditional, and then they'll give you the grades that you need to get in, or it'll be unconditional, which means you just need to get E's in your A-levels. Basically you just need to pass them and you can go. It may be unconditional if you've already sat your exams, so you say you're a gap year student and you've deferred for the year and you're reapplying again, they already have your grades, so your offer will be unconditional and then you'll know that's where you're going. If you have applied for deferred entry, then you will still be getting offers till the deadline, which is normally around May time. Now, some universities, Durham, and a few others, like to take their damn time, and they can leave you till like end of April waiting for your offers. And that's horrible because you're constantly refreshing your emails. Like, I must have been refreshing my emails so much, just waiting for that update that Ucas track's changed, Ucas track's changed, Ucas track has changed. Like, thinking, oh my god, like, which universities are it going to be? Am I going to get an offer? You might get an offer, brilliant. You might get an offer for a similar course. Like, they might have decided that we can't offer you what course you want, but we can offer you a similar one. So that's quite rare, but I have known it happen, and I've known it happen to being really random courses that aren't really related. But if that's you, I'd definitely just get in contact with the university themselves and ask them what's happened, because sometimes they just don't make sense. So it should be soon. I haven't checked the student room, but that's a really good resource for people to find people that are in similar positions to you. If you apply for Oxford or Cambridge, medicine or dentistry, which hits the first deadline of mid-October, you will need to do a test. Sometimes this is the UCAT, there's ones for, I think, like the LNAT, I think that's the law one. So depending on what degree and where you're going, you might have to sit an exam. I didn't, so I can't advise on any of those exams, but I'm sure you'll be able to find advice from other people. The student room is a really good resource for finding people that have applied to the same places as you, or just general A-levels, uni life. Like, the student room is really good at getting information. Don't be afraid if though you see, like, say you've applied for international business at Liverpool and you see that there's a lot of offers going out for international business at Liverpool and you've not had your offer. That does not mean that you have not got in. If you've applied before the main deadline, which you have if you're watching this, which is the end of January, end of January, you are fine. You are covered under equal consideration. So even when your friends are getting offers and you've still not had any, you will be considered equally to everyone else that has applied. If you apply through Ucas Extra, that then comes down to how many spaces they've got left, how many offers they've got to give out, because I've always wondered this. How do they know how many offers to give out? So you have 5 choices and you are going to pick at the end of them, say you get 5 offers, you are going to pick a firm and an insurance. And a firm is your first choice, insurance is your second choice. And I always wondered, technically, a fifth of the offers you give out, people will put as a firm. Obviously, some people will prefer universities more. And I wondered, how do they know how many offers to send out? So, I worked at the open day, showing off my psychology merch. I got for working at the open days, and I actually asked the admissions team how they do this. So, they have a very special formula, essentially, where they can work out year on year roughly how many people are going to accept their offer. They know roughly how many spaces they've got on their course. So for my psychology, I think it's around 300. But Nottingham Trent Uni for psychology is like the biggest cohort, I think. They've got like 500, 600 people. But I wondered, so essentially they know that out of the people that are applying to Manchester Uni, for example, they know that probably more than a fifth are going to want that as their first or second choice. So they have to think 300 times that by 5, 1,500. They might give out less offers than that because they know people are, because of the ranking of the university. So obviously it's a red brick Russell group, so it's viewed a bit more highly than like some of your other universities. Manchester Met. No shade. No, so they know there's some formula going on about what university offers they can do, like how many they can hand out versus how many people are going to accept that. And I don't know I didn't ask for the numbers and I didn't know, but I just wondered how they did it. So they know, they were year on year, they have, obviously every year they get more statistics based on how many people apply, how many people they give offers to versus how many people then accept that offer. Again then, as well, leading on to how many people then end up getting that offer at results day. It's like you said, it's all right having the offer, you've got to get to the results day. So this is where we move on to waiting. This is the perfect time. You've got about 2 months, 3 months till mocks. This is the perfect time to drill down on your understanding of what you've covered so far. Year 13 builds on year 12. You need to understand what is going on to be able to write about it in an exam. Even if you have to learn it parrot fashion, say there's a phrase that you can't understand and you just can't get your head around it, literally learn it parrot fashion so you can regurgitate it on the paper, because unfortunately that's kind of what A-levels are like. They just kind of ask you questions and if you regurgitate the right words you get the marks, and I don't think that's really how it should work, but that's how it does. First tip, try and forget about the offers and try not to be obsessed with checking track and scrolling through your emails. I mean, I can't lie, I did that a lot. Like I said, some universities will take their time. Just because it's leaving it till the end doesn't mean that you've not got a place. I don't know why some of them like to be slow, they just do. You've got this time now from November till May, which is again the time between now and your exams. Now is the time to start writing your little revision cards. The workload's going to ramp up really quickly and everything's going to become overwhelming. Do what you can to do well in your mocks, but don't put too much pressure on yourself. I got BBE in my year 13 mocks, and that they were like February, March, and I got A star, AA in my actual exams. So I went up, well I've already got a video on this, but I went up from an E to an A in A-level maths in 2-3 months. So it is possible. So if you flop your mock results, do not stress. Do not stress that you're not going to get into university. Like, do not stress, because even if you end up getting your getting into your insurance, or you end up having to go through clearing, you will probably still like where you end up. My sister, she's going to watch this, but yeah, she didn't do as well as she wanted to or needed to for her grades, and she is absolutely loving university. And I do think that university is what you make it. Even at the time, it's really upsetting. Obviously, you feel like your hard work's not paid off. You will end up where you're meant to be. If anyone had told me when I was waiting for my uni offers that your university degree would take you 5 years and you'd spend 2 years sectioned, well, more than 2 years sectioned, I would have not believed you. So life has its way of throwing curveballs, and that's just kind of what you've got to deal with. So you're either in the position that you have your offers, you've sent them in, you may have received some offers back, you may have been declined or rejected, you've still got 4 more. You can apply to 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 universities, and if you get rejected from all of them, then you go straight through to clearing and you can pick up another choice. I think it's about being reasonable about what grades you can get, but also pushing yourself a little bit, like stretch it far. Like, I know it's difficult with predicted grades and knowing how things go, because things can just go completely the wrong way. Like, you can just have a bad day and you've had that exam and now you flopped it and now you can't go to that uni, and it's rubbish that it's sort of based off how you feel on the day kind of thing. Once you've got your offers, now you need to start thinking, how can I narrow down my firm and my insurance, which ones I want to go to. Please do not, say you've got 3 offers and 2 unconditionals, please do not just pick the unconditionals because they're unconditional and you think it'll take the pressure off you. Really think about where you want to go. You can get those offers that require those grades. You don't need to rely on an unconditional. I know it takes the pressure away, but you have time, plenty of time, to get these marks up. Even if it's April, you might need to hurry up a bit because your exams will be in May, but it is doable. I did a ridiculous GCSE revision phase where I didn't start till April, and then I did 7 hours a day, literally every day, mind blank, but I did alright in my GCSEs. I did way better in my A-levels because I was consistent. I started from the beginning of year 13, like consolidating what I'd learned in year 12 and just making sure I understood everything that was going on. I went to extra maths classes with the year below to help me with mechanics because I was really bad at mechanics. I just don't know why I didn't get it. Like the first, like honestly, the most simplest thing, the first lesson I was so clueless and I didn't understand a word that was going on, and obviously I did really bad. And I went back the next year, sat in the year 12 class, and I was like, why did I find this difficult? This is so easy. And I don't know what switched in me. I really don't know. I could just do it. Like something just clicked. And I think if you are struggling with a subject, speak to your teacher. They might be able to help you or explain stuff in a slightly different way. And then it just might just click for you and you'll realise that you've got so much more potential than you thought you had. Please don't go just for unconditionals. Please don't go for financial offers. I got offered £2,000 a year as like a bursary, not a bursary, it's like a scholarship based on my grades for a certain university. Actually, I'm just going to out them. Coventry University. I was looking at doing criminal psychology, I think it's that, or forensic psychology, one of the two. And they were like, if you come here, we'll pay you £2,000 a year. And I'd say don't go for the money. Like, go, like really look into it. Please don't fall into the trap of I'm being paid or a scholarship or whatever it may be, an unconditional to take the pressure off you. I'm going to tell you how I narrowed down my university choices, but that is going to be next week's video. The idea of this video was for me to explain a bit about the Ucas uni offer process and what you can do in the time. So at the end of this video, which is now, I'm going to sum up what I essentially have said. So don't stress out if you're not getting offers straight away. If it gets to the end of May, I think some unis are a bit harsh and they do actually just let the time run out and then it turns automatically to a rejection. But I think that's a bit harsh if any of them do that. Don't feel stressed if you don't have any offers and your friends are getting all their offers, because universities are weird and they like to put a lot of stress on you, which you'll find out in the next 3 years when you actually do your degree. You've got time now. Use this time to focus on getting your grades to a level, or getting your understanding to a level where you can start seeing an improvement in your grades that can carry on slowly throughout the year. Rather than being a crammer and procrastinating and being like, oh my god, my exams are in 2 weeks. Try and do little bits at a time. This is when I started writing my revision cards, and I would write them down, and I would make sure that when I left that lesson I understood what had been taught. I understood it, and then I could teach it to someone else, so I'd like pretend to teach it to myself to show that I like knew what I was doing. Get to a point where you can explain that to someone else, that is when you know your work. When you can explain that concept to your friend goes, I don't get it. When you can explain that to them, you know you've got it. That is when you're in the best place that you possibly can be for heading into exams. Don't worry if you flop your marks. It's just to kind of gauge where you're at current. Obviously, like I've said, I have made my grades go low to high, and I have videos on that for I think each of the subjects I did. So I did geography, psychology and maths, A levels. I think I have a video for each of one of those, so I will link it above, not sure which corner, but I'll link the videos if you want to see those. So yeah, so the wait is nerve-wracking, and everyone's always going to ask you, oh, have you had any offers, what are you applying for, where have you applied, oh, that's hard. Like, people will have their judgments on everything basically, where you've applied to anything. Try not to compare yourself, because it doesn't really end. You kind of get stuck in a cycle, and then I think it's best to kind of focus on yourself, do your work for you, and hopefully before you know it, you'll be getting those Ucas emails saying that you've got offers. So next week's video will be me discussing how I actually went about narrowing down my 5 university offers to my firm and my insurance. So thank you for watching. I hope you find this useful and reassuring. And if you do, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you for the next video. Bye.